Oh my God. This is nuts. This is nuts. I just did a whole live show. I just did a whole live show and we weren't live. A whole live show. Here we are. Now I can hear myself. This is crazy. A whole ass show. That's great though. You want to know why? Because it's probably jacked up anyway. So, oh my goodness. All right. Give me some music. Let the children sing. Applause. I ain't scared. Give me horns. Talking shit, getting clicks. Original podcast. I'm gonna throw up the wee right now. I'm gonna throw it up right now, but to be honest with you, it's not like that. It's not like that. It is not like that at all. At all. Yo, let me tell you guys. I went live and I saw myself just like I just heard myself now. I heard myself and then I go back to the live and it's not even going. Like I was like, oh, let me rewatch this live. And yo, let me tell you guys. I went live. See? And at least I sound decent. I got the fan on, but what can you do? What can you do? Ladies and gentlemen, today I watched Deep Impact. Yo, Deep Impact is a 1998 film that talks about the end of the world via asteroid/comet named Wolf Biederman, and it's coming for the Earth. And the cool thing about this movie is that another movie way more popular movie came out that same exact summer, but it came out towards the 4th of July time frame, and it was called Armageddon. So Armageddon and Deep Impact both came out in the same year. Deep Impact was the first one. Now, I wanted to watch it. I'm a crazy sci-fi geek, if you will. And I remember, me and Pops went to go see Deep Impact. I think Winnie might have tagged along on that one. So we went to go see Deep Impact in the movies, and I remember that I loved it. I was blown away by it. And then Armageddon came out, and I saw Armageddon. It was like, oh, all the fireworks, all the craziness, all the, the fun, the laughter, and everything like that. And I loved Armageddon. But then I got a little older. Both movies, by the way, I love. But Armageddon would always be number one for me in this type of film. Between these two films, Armageddon would be number one. And then I was like, I got a little older and I started doing some rewatching, and Deep Impact for me right now, as I live and breathe, is by far, well, not by far, but it's my favorite one. I appreciate it more that I'm a little older. And just watching it today kind of took me back. It did. It took me back to that time. There was it was an all-star cast, just like Armageddon. It was an all-star cast of a lot of the who's hot and up and comers for the 1990s, and it was an amazing movie. We get a Lily Sobowski in this movie, right? We get a young Lily Sobowski, right? She plays Sarah Hotchner. We get a amazing performance by the legendary Vanessa Redgrave in this movie. We get a young Jon Favreau, who basically kind of owns Hollywood right now, and we also get a younger Elijah Wood. One of my favorite movies with Elijah Wood, and this one might be my revisit, is The Good Son with Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin. Yo, honestly, if you think about it, we could talk about this. Macaulay Culkin had he didn't miss with any of his picks. Any movie that he was in, he did not miss. The Good Son was a great performance. Seeing Kevin McAllister in such a just just devious light. It was amazing to watch. And then Elijah Wood, anyway, Elijah Wood's been doing it for a minute. He was, before Frodo, before they were trusting him with $1 trillion series and everything like that. He was in this movie called Deep Impact, playing a nerd named Leo Biederman, who gets credit for actually discovering the comet or asteroid, whatever you want to call it, that is coming to destroy Earth. And it came to destroy Earth. We also have, if you look in this, yeah. Anyway, let me tell you why we're here today. First of all, yesterday I said that I would be on here because I don't stream enough. I don't stream nearly enough. I do it once a week. So when people are like, yo, how long have you been? I'm like, yo, I've had this channel for a couple of years. Just know that it's not an everyday thing. And they told me you got to stream more. If you want to dream more, you got to stream more. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm kicking it off with a 30 days of Mo-a-thon, if you will. I don't have titles or anything organized or planned for this, but the only plan is to get onto this PC, turn on the camera, hit the mic, turn on that Rodecaster Pro 2, and then hit start streaming. Seriously, we're not trying to do crazy thumbnails every day. We're not trying to do crazy descriptions. We're not taking copious notes or setting up graphics or slides or anything like we usually do when we're presenting our cases and our arguments and our, hey, check this out, that we do on the, the We live show on Wednesdays. Remember, there's no we without you. I'll hit you with a little bit. Yeah. You hear that on Wednesday, it's going to be lit. It's going to be off the heezy. That's old school right there. One more yay. Couple horns because I can't help it. But yeah, that's what I do on Wednesdays. But seriously, we got goals. And in trying to reach these goals, they say, hey, you got to do it. Let me check my phone. Look, bro, hit me up. Yeah. So, 30 days. I want to do it every day just to get in the habit of clicking live, because I'm not even going to lie. I do it once a week. I do a fair good amount of preparation for Wednesday's live shows. But like I said in my last show, like a lot of times we get by Wednesday, whatever I'm going to talk about, it's been beat the hell by the media already, or, people who post every day. So I kind of got to be quicker on the draw. But at the same time, I still want to keep that same quality. And that is it's just not good for me to come on every day and try to break down what's going on politically, especially in this political environment, especially with this administration. And this actually gives me a time where I don't necessarily have to talk about politics. And when I started this channel, that is not what I wanted to do. It's a calling. But I can't help. If it comes up or something comes up, even when I'm talking about a movie, we gonna discuss it. You see this thing around me? It goes like this. That says talking shit, getting clicks. I'm going to talk this shit. Do me a favor. Click like, share, subscribe. Hit the alarms right now, people. And I ask you to hit the alarms because, like I said, I'm going to be doing this for the next 30 days. You're going to get at least 15 minutes out of me. But the plan is to start streaming daily. That's my goal, guys. I'm letting the universe know as well as you guys, I guess for accountability or something like that. Something told me on TikTok do that. They told me do that on TikTok. And TikTok, I'm not going to be lying. TikTok be on point. On point. I've got some banger recipes on there. All right. So I wanted to discuss the 1998 film. I did have notes, I'm not going to lie. But but I hopped on today at 6 because if you guys saw my live that I was going on at 6, I was going to go on at 6, and I actually positively went on at 6 p.m. and I could have sworn I hit start streaming, but I have another setting where you have to actually hit go live, and I was looking at it while I was streaming, and I heard my voice in the background, and I thought I was streaming, but lo and behold, I was not streaming. This is how my life is going right now. This is how my life is going right now. And it's all good because it's whatever. We got to do what we got to do. Keep these 30 days. And then 30 days came out of nowhere. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You heard. Right. Yeah, so in 1998, the film Deep Impact hit the scene. It is a science fiction disaster drama type of film, and it was directed by Mimi Leder. Let's get let's see who we're talking about here. Look at this. She's done some flicks too. Guys, I am not professional movie man, but I will tell you this. I have watched a shitload of television and movies, and that's what makes me an expert. I've watched a hell of a lot of films from all different types of drama, from all different types of times. I've watched a lot of stuff, and if I haven't watched it, I got a friend or I know somebody that knows somebody who's done that, and I got calling lines and chats, so they can always help me out too. I'm positive about this. This is Mimi Leder. Yo, she has also done The Peacemaker. You remember with Nicole Kidman and what's his name? We're gonna have a problem here because I'm getting old and I'm forgetting names. George Clooney. Duh. Oh, we also got the Kevin Spacey Pay It Forward movie with Helen Hunt in there. Thick as Thieves. She's done some works. But we are specifically talking today about her works in the movie Deep Impact. Deep Impact. All right. So the screenwriters were Bruce Joel Rubin, Michael Tolkien, produced by David Brown, Richard D. Zanuck. He's Steven Spielberg was the executive producer. And music by James Horner, which is crazy because I was like, yo, Danny Elfman. I said earlier, Danny Elfman probably did the score. Some geek shit. Yo, Dietrich Lohmann did the cinematography. I think there is a lot of German cinema. I'm assuming he's German. Yeah, he was born in Berlin. Oh, he was born in Schnepfenthal. Damn, I said that. Schnepfenthal. Waltershausen. Germany. Oh, rest in peace. He died in 97. We do not. That sounds too placate. Yeah. Rest in peace, buddy. But he worked on some crazy films, and it looked like in these films he was basically the main star. When your cinematographer is the main star of your movie, I mean, that's not a bad thing. But you should probably it should be like your writer. It should be your writer or your actor, your director. How about that? Your director. Anyway, what I'm saying is that the movie has a runtime of 121 minutes, and it was produced by Paramount Pictures in conjunction with DreamWorks Pictures, the Nuck Brown Productions, and it was distributed by Paramount. It released May 8th in 1998 wide, so it got there before Memorial Day in 1998. I remember watching. I was like, yo, it's around Easter time that it came out. So it was in early May it came out, and then we know that Armageddon would come out around 4th of July to blow it out of the water. But basically, the plot is, it's basically like a comet is discovered on a collision course with Earth about 1 year before impact. The world government, led by the U.S. president, tries to prepare humanity to stop the disaster. There is a teenager that goes by the name of Leo Biederman, played by none other than Elijah Wood, and the reporter Jenny Lerner, who is played by, Téa Leoni. She was great in this film. I'm not gonna lie. So she basically uncovers the truth and pressures the national leaders to go public. And the way that it happens is done masterfully, because she kind of gets thrown into this not knowing what the hell's going on, and basically exposes, an administration with the name of one woman. Let the children sing. This is an old-ass movie. I'm not doing spoiler alerts right now. If you're going to watch it, you're going to watch it because I'm explaining, you think it's dope, or you haven't seen it before. But, yeah, I'm spoiling because this was 1998. If you haven't watched it, you had your time. But if you want to rewatch with me. All right, so the president is Tom Beck. He basically organizes a space mission with the astronauts aboard the spacecraft called the Messiah, and it's supposed to land on a comet and detonate nuclear devices to either divert the path of the comet or to just break it up, similarly like Armageddon. This came out before Armageddon. But you can still watch both of them and enjoy it. Like, I can watch this one and then turn around and watch Armageddon and understand that the whole overall theme of this thing is saving humanity and the world from a giant asteroid / comet that's about to collide with the Earth. And I can still get two different, both positive reactions from each film. You know what I mean? If you don't, let me know. Let me know you don't know. Anyway, so this film basically tracks the global reaction. It does personal stories and moral dilemmas, as well as, how the governments react, and, how the policies and politics interact, and how, the world responds to this crisis. Whereas Armageddon really focuses more on Bruce Willis and his crew, going up in space, than it really does like the regular public. Eddie Griffin makes a cameo in that movie, I believe, in the beginning of Armageddon. I think that's Eddie Griffin. Anyway, Téa Leoni is playing the journalist Jenny Lerner. She gets some information from a potential suitor that a highly ranking government official is resigning, and it's being said around the streets that he's resigning because he was caught having an affair. She kind of gets that information, and when she digs deeper, she finds that the president may be involved with all this nonsense, and that the executive government official is resigning to cover up for the president's affair. So now she's in it. And she's talking on her phone. She's trying to figure it out, and she's talking to the executive's assistant, and she's like, listen, there's some chick named Ellie involved in this. And she's like, oh my God, like, this was a stupid story of, regular politicians cheating, and now it might be the president. We got some shit here. She's thinking she's got a headline front page banger on the way. But that's not what happens. She's riding through D.C. and parts that I know, because I lived out there for a little bit. But she's riding through parts that I've seen before, and then the Alphabet Boys pull up on the side of her. Bang, bang, bang her car, bump her car, take her out of there, and drag her off. Next time we see her, she's in the White House in what I would consider like the kitchen, like the like underneath, where what keeps the White House running, and she's surrounded by the top presidential advisors. Buddy's eating a sandwich in there. They kind of like in a kitchen area, and she's like, yo, basically, why am I here? And then all of a sudden the president steps out. Let you say. And what's cool about this, because in 1998 I seen something that I haven't seen. Like, me personally, I ain't seen before. Let you say. The president, Tom Beck himself, steps out into the kitchen to meet with Téa Leoni's character, Jenny Lerner, and the president is black. You heard it. The first time I seen it, a black president in the movies was Morgan M. F. Freeman in the 1998 cinematic masterpiece Deep Impact. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? And what I was saying in my first live that didn't go live is I think that the representation of Morgan Freeman in this movie, along with the representation of Dennis Haysbert in the series 24 from the early 2000s with Kiefer Sutherland, which was like one of the top shows of like the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm so old. I get my decades messed up. But I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there that I think their portrayals of presidents of the United States may have been the catalyst, something that helped President Obama win the presidency in 2008. People are like, you're crazy. But you know what? We fight a lot over the media. We fight a lot about movies. We fight about how we are, if you're like from a certain ethnic group or culture, like how your culture is portrayed in these movies, because we know that you're going to have, if your movie's big enough, you will have billions of eyes on this movie, and it helps to persuade, provoke, and entice people that go into the movies. Keep it real. I can sit and watch movies all day. That video game and read and stuff like that. I'm not a mush brain or anything, like just looking at the tube. But I do love watching the cinema. And there's so much that I learned just from watching television and watching these shows that I picked up more in school, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. I guess I'm a visual learner, but there's just a lot of stuff that I learned about United States history that made me look more into United States history to get the real. But yeah, media is important. So when I say that, I think, and it's my idea, that Dennis Haysbert and Morgan Freeman were big reasons for President Obama being the first black president, quote unquote. I think there might be something there. If you disagree, let me know. That would be a great conversation. But yeah, in walks Morgan Freeman as the president. And as a president, he's a badass. So he's looking at Téa Leoni, and Téa Leoni's like, listen, I'm thinking like you're messing with this chick, and they're kind of like talking back and forth. And he's like this chick knows that there's a comet about to bang out on the earth, and there's going to be an extinction level event, ELE. And while he's talking to her, he's like, listen, so what about Ellie? And she's like, what about Ellie? Thinking she's talking about some type of mistress or Guma or effing Washington DC madam or something like that. Like she's exposing the president for being on some Bill Clinton circa 1998 type shit. But like she's thinking she's got one of these type of cases, and he's like, what? We're talking about what do you know about ELE? And that's what he says. She catches it because even though she's a jerk, she's still a journalist. She's got a good ear for things, and she just sits there and kind of stones him. He stones her back, and he's like, listen, basically, I'm the president. And he says it so nice and poetic, just like Morgan Freeman could in his Morgan Freeman voice. I can't even do it. But anyway, he's implying that, listen, lady, there's a lot going on right now, and I could just take you out. He says it nice. I'm just paraphrasing right now. I could take you out right now. She's like, she's trying to put on her tiger teeth. She pulls out her tiger. She's like, listen, this is what I want. And he's like, look, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to put you in the Washington newsroom. I need you to hold off on the story for 2 weeks. And she's like, no. And they understand because she's in the news. You can't hold off on the story for 2 weeks. You hold off on a story in 2 weeks, it done blown up and died. Even in 1998, it would have. He's like, all right, give me 2 days to prepare things, and then I'm going to have a press conference. I will put you dead ass center in that press conference so you can be there. That should help your career because you're a journalist, but you're not all that yet. And she's like, He's like, he's doing her a favor. And she's like, this is what I want. She's like, I want the first one. And then he like checks her again, G-checks her, Morgan Freeman style, just with the eyes and the little mole right here. Checks her. The mole checks her. And the mole's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about you want? Like, we're in the bowels of the White House right now. This floor in this White House, can easily wick off blood. You know what I mean? There's a butcher block right here with the little case of knives right here. I could gank your neck right now and be about my day. I have Secret Service clean up the mess. He gives her, that's what the mole said to her. And she's like, she gets her humblest. She's like, I'm off my Karen shit, even though Karens weren't a thing back in 1998. Karens have always been a thing, to be honest with you. But it wasn't a name. It wasn't named back then. Anyway, she was just like, all right, well, can I get the first question? Boom. That's end of Act 1. So she takes that. She's like, she still don't know what's going on. She's like, I know the president is not a woman. It's not an affair or anything. Like, what the hell's going on? And she goes off to her computer. Now, this is 1998. Like, we got, I don't know, I'm looking at G-Force. We got RTXs and 40, 50s, 680s and 890s and stuff like that. Right now, back in the 98s, in the 90s, we had Pentiums on some geek shit. While I'm here, I'll do the research. In 1998, what was the best home PC processor? It's going to say Pentium. It was a Pentium 2 line. Yo, they introduced Celeron, which is no longer around because it was trash. They introduced Celeron around the same time, as well as the AMD chips came out around mid-1998. And get this, they had clock speeds up to 550 megahertz, guys, on some geek shit. But the Pentium 2 line was the top mainstream choice, was the Pentium 2. So she's probably on a Pentium 2 back at her network researching this stuff, and she's on the God's dial-up internet. Yo, back in the day, I had like free AOL because I would always get those discs, the 6-8 hour discs. I would get a shitload of those and just have free AOL, even though you would pay because you got to pay for the phone. And sometimes like the local lines would be busy. And you will actually your home phone is dialing a number, and it's not like mobile phones. Like right now, I can call Hawaii and it's nothing. Like there's no free hours, no free minutes, even though it's past 7. I could call Hawaii like it's nothing. But back in the day, if I called Hawaii from my mama's phone, that's a bill. That's a bill and a half. Phones wasn't like that for my young whippersnappers down there. All right. So she's on her Pentium and she's searching on her internet. Yo, one time, I'm not going to lie, Delaware had the line because you would go on AOL and you could kind of choose the phone numbers. And like we would choose like Atlantic City, which was close, or somewhere nearby. But it was sometimes you could get on, sometimes you couldn't. But anytime I chose Delaware, I could get on. And I was choosing Delaware for 3 months straight. And that phone bill was a long distance call to Delaware. Even though when that thing came on, and you hear it go, if you got a strong, I'm like, oh man, this computer is about to be zooming. That Napster, oh my God, yo. I downloaded, what's this song called by the Eagles? Hotel California. Welcome to the Hotel California. In 1999, I downloaded the song Hotel California on Napster, and it took 4 effing days. That is not a yay. Exactly. Ew. Thank God for technology, guys. Give horns. Give the horns for the Ethernet. I say all of that to say that Tia Leone ends up talking to the president. She goes back and she's searching on what God level. I don't know what search is, but like Ask Jeeves or something. It was probably before that. And she's searching and she's like, she didn't even know. Like right now I could type ELE.L.E and it's going to come up. It's going to give me everything. It's going to even probably mention the movie Deep Impact, what we're talking about right now. Right? But back then, you couldn't do that. So she's searching, she's clicking around, she gets a little intuition. She clicks another button that says extinction, and voila, ELE comes up, and now she realizes, as well as the audience realizes, that ELE stands for Extinction Level Event. Boom. And now Tia Leone's all sick to her stomach because she's like, oh shit, I just thought somebody was getting real strange on the side, doing a little overtime. You know what I mean? But no, it's the world coming to an end. The world's coming to an end. And what's cool about this movie versus Armageddon, because they both have their good points and low points. I like Armageddon because it's like a fun little wild ride type of party. But this one goes into the things that we're thinking about. You know what I mean? And I just watched it today again. And other than the technology they were using, this movie still kind of half-ass way holds up. Halfway. I mean, it holds up till we get to the end. Like, I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know what I mean? So I can't tell you about, oh, yes, this nuclear bomb could explode inside, and it would explode into little wafers of astro. I can't tell you that because I'm not an effing scientist, but I'm a movie scientist. So I can tell you that it was DreamWorks, and when DreamWorks does it, it works. Let's just sing. Horns. All right, so now, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I like it better than Armageddon, because now the world's collapsing. So now we got a little geopolitical politics going into the mix, and now the citizens are involved, and they're like, yo, listen, the president's like, listen, we're going to send our astronauts up there, because the astronauts, even in this movie, the astronauts aren't the main device pushing this movie along. You know, they're a big part of it. I know it's a comet coming down, but this is about, you know, because it's shot in a, you know, United States of America point of view. It's about Americans learning that, hell, bro, this thing is coming down and it doesn't look good, and how they live their lives and how the government goes about, hey, trying to save lives and what they do. And one of the things that our strong black president Morgan Freeman does is he freezes prices. He says, whatever you paid for a bottle of water yesterday, you're going to pay for a bottle of water today. So after she asks him about the questions and everything, he spills the beans in a press conference. He also says, crime-wise, like, if you go out there and you hurt a person, basically, that our justice system will be quick and it will be harsh, saying that, yo, like, we're in this time right now, we don't need no extra shit. Like, he was on a leadership perspective. He did his thing. That's why I say he might have helped Barack Obama. But in that same vein, I have to ask a question. I got to ask a question. The question that I must ask is, yo, if this happened during this current administration that we are currently in, Mainline, what's up? If this deep impact happened, why do I still have Tia Leone up? That is not good for visuals, guys. This is the movie I'm talking about. It's a Tia Leone movie. There's Lily Sobowski with Elijah Wood. Elijah Wood killed it in the gut, son. We should talk about that movie too. But you get to see from a citizen's perspective. Look at that wave hitting Manhattan. By the way, yes, it's a 90s movie, so you do see the Twin Towers. You do. No one ever talks about Tower 9, though. Really? Exactly. There we go. Horns anyway. Okay. So, what we get to see is that Elijah Wood's character is good because he helped to discover the comet that's going to destroy the Earth. So he's basically royalty now, and his family get a pass to go because now, listen, we hope that the astronauts divert or destroy this comet. But if not, then we have bunkers that we're going to go into so we can at least save humanity. And I think that's pretty cool because like, I don't know, I haven't had that feeling of dying. I've had those experiences where I thought it was over with. But like knowing that something is coming to destroy the entire Earth, can you imagine that? Can you imagine having to have a lottery? By the way, in this lottery, they if you were over 50 years old, unless you were on your shit, unless you were like the top person in your field and they absolutely positively needed you, if you were over the age of 50 years old, you were not put in this lottery to go have any safety or longevity in these bunkers. You know, that's something that they brought up. That's something that's not discussed in Armageddon. You know, this had a little bit more feeling to it. And then Leo Biederman here, played by Elijah Wood, wants to marry Lily Sapolsky because he's in love with her, and he wants her to go with him to the safety of the bunker because he's been invited since he discovered the comet, him and his family. But they don't allow her family to go, just her, because he married her, not the other family. So the comet does hit, and we see some death, but we also see some heroics by the astronauts and how they did it there. And that's a whole nother, because you got Robert Duvall playing one of those old timey, I went to the moon in the late 60s or, you know, the 70s, and he's coming back and he's like having a little beef and scuffles with the new astronauts going up there because he's old school. And they're like, yo, we got buddies who could do this job that trained with us. And he's like, listen, I got experience. And they're like, no, you're needed there as a face to make people comfortable. We don't really need you. And that's another little subplot of the story. Like I told you, the astronauts aren't the main focus of the story. The comet itself isn't really the main focus of this story. This is basically a story of, yo, we are all going to die. We all know that we're going to die. And the little things we do to, you know, try to sustain our lives or come to grips with something of such depth. Right? Man. I'll tell you. Yep. So if you want to watch it, the movie is called Deep Impact. I have a shitload of streaming services. I just got rid of my Nets. Like I ordered Netflix back in September so I could watch Bud fight Canelo, and I ordered the good Netflix, you know, with the 8K and no ads and stuff like that. And I don't watch it, and I've been paying like damn near $30 per month for now. I done spent $100 to watch that fight. That's crazy. Why are you clapping? There we go. More like it. All right. But I'm saying this. I say all this because, I got the Hulus and HBO Goes, but I use YouTube. I live stream on YouTube. And even if you have free YouTube, even though I have premium YouTube, I do. And it's nice. I love it. I love going YouTube on my phone because I just listen to like podcasts and good frequency music because I got a little ADHD. I got to focus. I listen to that music in the earbuds all day, and boom. I can take a call, I can scroll, I can do little online shopping on my phone, and I still got it planned because I got the premium. If you don't have the premium, once you close YouTube, it's going to close out. And there's also no ads in those movies. There were no ads in this movie, so there might be some ads if you're just using a plain YouTube. But listen, if you don't want to spend all that money on Hulu and Netflix, I'm telling you, Google has on YouTube those movies like Deep Impact, all the good classics. They got new stuff that's out, and you can catch it on there for the freezy. Yo, get that done. Y'all gotta keep y'all done. Made a lot of money. I just have a habit of holding on to it. Yay. You know what? I would correct you and make you go, but honestly, I'll be having fun spending it. So. All right. Plus, Robert Duvall is in this movie. Blair Underwood, a young Jon Favreau before he started owning Hollywood. There's a lot of little good faces. James Cromwell is in this movie. Y'all don't know James Cromwell. You don't know James Cromwell. But, and just seeing him made me think about another movie to do. I got to do this for 30 days. Streaming for 30 days. This is day one. Every day. Usually I just come on Wednesdays, 7:30. You're going to get a nice, well put together show. Usually organized. A lot of times I have like little quizzes and questions for the audience. You're allowed to call in. Got a call-in line on Wednesday. By the way, that show is called, if you don't know, let me show. Like at 7:30 p.m., you're going to hear this. Right? Yeah, you're going to hear that and you're going to see that because that's me 3 times. I'm going to pop up. That's what we do. Channel's called Talking Shit, Getting Clicks. And I'm still using a lot of that media from that show because I don't have a show dedicated to this right now in my computer. So I'm going to have to make that. It's going to be a lot of work. But this is the first day, 1 of 30. Like, share, subscribe. And if you want to just take this as this channel as a trial, if you will, do me a favor, hit the alarm. I'm going to pop on this thing each and every day for you until we get to where we're going. Righteous? Right? All right. So you hear that, you're going to be like, and then you're going to hop in the chat or call on the line and hang out with the...
Many people know them as the Jump Out Boys in their city.
Hang out with my Jump Out gang. All right. It's getting late to the little... Tonight's movie we're talking about is 1998 film Deep Impact. And I hope you enjoyed the talk. I will see you guys next time, and we will talk about another movie that I watch as soon as I get home from work. And then after I'm done watching that movie, I come on here. Usually it's movies that I've already seen. This is the first one, so I don't know which the next one's about to be. But I was, like I said, I was thinking James Cromwell, so I was thinking like Babe. Remember Babe? Bar MU. I know he's been in a lot of other movies, but when I think of James Cromwell, personally, I think of the movie Babe. I know. But yeah, if you got any movie requests that you would like me to watch and talk about, or you want to get into, let me know. Hit me in the chat. And then you see this thing under me? It has all my, and this is no lie. These are all my social media, so I'm going to let that run for a second so you can check it out. You can go to those social medias, hit click, like, share, subscribe to those. Most importantly, the emails you can get at me with. If you got any ideas, if you want to do any collabs or anything, I'm always down for that. I'm going to throw in applause. I'm going to hit a yay. And I'm going to throw in some beats. Far Side, how about that? I'm on 3 times. You're watching Talking Shit, Getting Clicks. I don't got no title for what I'm doing today, but I'll see you next time. And don't forget to catch us Wednesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We live. There's no we without you. Peace. I love strawberry Fanta. Oh, I can't even end the broadcast.